Today's guest is redefining the fitness industry. He is building a space that isn't like your typical gym. Factories you go to build bodies that look good, but one that nurtures the whole being with a mind that is calm, free of distractions, triggers, addictions, and a body that just feels good to inhabit. Strong yet well balanced, sensitive, and self aware, not just self obsessed. He is the founder of Sabar, which literally translates to patience, and he calls it a healing gym, a space that healed him to begin with. I wouldn't be exaggerating in saying that what he's building is nothing less than a temple. And his role, like that of a pujari, a maulvi, a granthi, who so gracefully anchors each person as a mentor, a teacher, and facilitates their journey to well being. What is the power that holds him and guides him to nurture such beauty in today's world? How did he bounce back from a failed career in modeling to create such a beautiful space that is nurturing humans? What's the secret of his discipline? Waking up at 4 a.m. each morning and coasting through the day almost effortlessly, as if there is no doing, just being. He says treasure lies in the boring, the repetitive, the mundane. How did he discover this boundless treasure? And how does he nurture a community of members who voluntarily decorate the space with handmade paintings, souvenirs, and write Google reviews that read like poems of love and admiration? Without further ado, let's get into today's very special episode with Paramjot Singh, founder of Sabar, to get answers to all of these questions and much more. Welcome to today's podcast. सारे का निग्गा स्वागत है. Welcome Paramjot Veer ji, welcome
Thank
to
you.
today's
Thank you so
discussion.
much for having me here. I'm very happy to be here.
It's an honor for us to have you here. ਤੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਅੱਛਾ ਲੱਗ ਰਿਹਾ ਮੈਨੂੰ. ਤੇ ਅੱਜ ਕਿਵੇਂ how's the day been going for you?
The day is going good, you know. All my days except Thursdays and Sundays, they are quite busy, but on Thursdays I get a little bit of time to, get some time out for myself and do my basic things that I don't get to do throughout the week.
Nice. So it's like a break
It is the
in
break.
the middle of the week.
Yes. So I won't call it a break, but it's more of a physical break for me. But the mental thing is always going on, and what happened throughout the week and what is going to happen in the next week. So that kind of planning and mindfulness is happening at the same time. But yes, as I mentioned, that it is a physical break. All the operations and the workouts are on a halt on Thursdays. So it's more towards the creativity and that comes from within on Thursdays. So yeah.
ਬਿਊਟੀਫੁਲ ਬਿਊਟੀਫੁਲ ਤਾਂ ਚਲੋ ਅਸੀਂ ਸਬਰ ਤੋਂ ਹੀ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕੀ ਹੈ ਸਬਰ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਅਕਸ਼ਰਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ and the feeling you have about it where did it come from what exactly is sabar
Sabar has been very important in my life, this word patience. When I was, being brought up in life, I was aging in life and I was getting older. So I have been seeing my mother throughout my life, She had sacrificed a lot for her children. It was always our happiness and she was always there to sacrifice her. And that kind of unconditional love, that had fulfilled me right from the right from the childhood, and I was very emotionally fulfilled right from the childhood. The upbringing that I have from my mother and my parents, I would say, both of them have a lot of patience in their life. So they are the first ones to surrender in any situation, whatever happens in any adversity. So I was, you know, present and I was aware, not even aware, but I was like, how come they are so patient in, life, but I'm so anxious within, I'm so anxious. So that was the time my journey and the queries started to happen, So what is the reason behind their patience? And I never came to know until the time I stepped out of my home, you know. I never knew Sabar, I never knew patience until the
Wow.
time I stepped out of comfort, and तब पता लगा कि what it means to surrender and to be humble, and to be disciplined enough. And
Hmm.
so Sabar, patience, as the journey was going on, so many rejections, many failures were coming in my life. It was like, okay, nahi, 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 straight away
Hmm.
no's, a lot of no's in my life. Whenever I stepped into doing something that I loved, so there was some obstacles, facing the way.
Hmm.
But as I said, it was a very beautiful upbringing that I have in my life. So if parents were, being patient in the times of adversity or whatnot, they have lost so many things, and yet they are so strong in their life. They
Hmm.
have seen so many things, and yet they were so strong. So that gave me hope to keep on moving forward, moving forward, moving forward. And even there were times when there were so many failures and I had to give up. I had to give up for that particular situation. I was able to undergo the perception that this is something that is not meant for me,
Hmm.
Hannah. So, but I was giving so much into
Hmm.
those things, and those things were now deviating me to another process, the next phase in life that was about to come. And again, another failure. Then I took it as a sign.
So, I would be really interested to understand ਥੋੜਾ ਖੁੱਲ ਕੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਦੱਸੋ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਘਰੋਂ ਬਾਹਰ ਨਿਕਲੇ what happened and how it helped you introspect and come back to the anchor of patience because from what I hear I see that patience has been somehow a keyword for you looking at your mother and then eventually when you moved out of your house you were always reflecting on ਕਿ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਉਹ ਸਬਰ ਨਾਲ ਹਰ ਚੀਜ਼ ਨੂੰ ਜਰ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਸੀ ਹੈਂਡਲ ਕਰ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਸੀ ਤੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ 'ਚ ਉਹ ਮੁਸ਼ਕਲਾਂ ਆਈਆਂ ਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਬਾਰੇ ਥੋੜਾ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਦੱਸੋ
Hanji, it was back in 2015, and all my life I have been staying in Chandigarh, and this city is so beautiful, so full of warmth, and at the same time, there are few things that are lacking, which was one, discipline, and a lot of comfort was there. So I had never known what it means to earn a livelihood. I had never known what it means to go and make things happen. So it was a life story in front of my eyes that my parents, they were doing so much of things for us, but we have never, went outside the comfort zone. So as that was my age, around 24 back then, not 24, 22, 23, just outside,
very young
out of college. And
uh,
I had dreams, and there were questions, what to do, what not to do.
right
Every person, coming out of college has that, flea of questions
yeah you full of
running around,
questions and curiosity
full of questions and full of curiosity. And then I have also seen my Tayaji, doing so much of hard work as well. And he was the one always taking, leap of faith and taking risk in life and proceeding further and further and further. So he mentioned one day, okay, it's good to earn bread. It's good to eat bread at home, but it is also important to know how to earn and how to earn a livelihood, and that will happen only when you stepped out of discomfort, out of comfort, and when you move into discomfort. And that was the turning point in my life. Then I had a word with my parents. Okay, I need some time. I need to know myself. I need to explore. what life has to offer to me. It was a big step for me because all my life I've been in comfort, and now it was a big decision to take a decision that, uh, I'm very grateful for that day. I always remember that day, that push, that go ahead and do something in life. So that gave me a chance to go to Gurgaon. I was there for 2 years. Then I went to Bombay for 2 years, and my journey, physical fitness, started there. And it was a desire, I
I
would
hear
say.
you were there for modeling.
I wasn't there for modeling, but I was working there in a logistics company,
Acha.
and a good company. But while working in strenuous hours, throughout the day, and I have a very active childhood, till college, I was very active. And once you take that activity from somebody who has lived an athletic life throughout, so it was very painful for me to absorb, or it was very painful for me to accept कि पहले लाइफ बहुत अपलिफ्टिंग थी. आई वाज वेरी हेल्दी, आई वाज मेंटली वेरी पॉजिटिव, बट ड्यू टू वर्किंग आवर्स एंड नॉट बीइंग एबल टू focus on my health, and not being able to eat healthy because I was out of home, and that gave me, some amount of pressure that something has to be done,
So
regarding
this
stuff.
is very interesting. I want to really pause on this.
Okay.
You're saying that from being an active kid, and when you moved to the city and you are in a job and your life became stagnant, ਤੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ observe ਕੀਤਾ ਕਿ it was having an impact, and also the diet change. It was having
ਹਾਂਜੀ.
an impact on your physical as well as mental.
Yes, I was not aware about mental thing because during those days there was nothing being spoken about mental health. What is mental? What are thoughts? What's going on? So there was no spirituality in my dictionary. There was no meaning of that. I never knew what's that. So, but I was going through something. I was going through something, a lot of emotions, and I was never addressing those emotions. I would say it was just coming and going, and in terms of energy levels, something was happening. What is anger? I never knew what is anger. What is patience? I never knew. So it was like, okay, it was there, and but I could see a lot of changes in my body. I was gaining some weight and tummy and cheeks, and like we were having food outside, and it wasn't that healthy. So I started falling ill, like it was a sign from divine. Okay, now you have to take care of your health. Get up, do something. है So that was the time I was getting ill and my work was being hampered. And during the college times as well, I have been modeling. Coming back to that question, ਤੇ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਅੰਦਰੋਂ ਇੱਕ ਡਿਜ਼ਾਇਰ ਜਾਗੀ ਸੀ. ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਹੁਣ ਬੰਬੇ ਆਇਆ, I'm in Bombay, and this is a city where dreams
Glamour,
might come true,
हाँ जी.
glamour, and I liked to dress up, ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਕੁਝ assignments ਕੀਤੀਆਂ ਸੀਗੀ during college days, just out of curiosity. ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਹੁਣ ਬੰਬੇ ਆਇਆ, why not give a
Let's
shot?
explore something. हाँ
Let's
जी, हाँ जी.
explore something. ਤੇ there was somebody, Varun sir ਸੀਗੇ ਇੱਕ, ਉਹ he was in Bombay in modeling industry and in auditions industry. So I had a meet with him, and he mentioned uh, earlier previously I used to think okay, I'm lean, but I had big cheeks and I was a little bulkier than this one. They he mentioned that you have to get a little more lean. ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਹੋਰ lean ਹੋਣਾ ਪੈਣਾ ਹੈ. ਤੇ that was the day I started looking up for the meaning of lean on Google. What is lean? What is actual lean? ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਯਾਰ ਇਹ ਤਾਂ cheeks ਇਦਾਂ physique six pack abs ਅੱਛਾ this is called lean. So that was also the day when my physical fitness journey started, because I thought that, what if I'm not here in Bombay for the next 2 3 years? I have to give my best now. So it was 2015 and or 16 starting. That day was the day when I never gave working out, and I started looking up for nutrition, what does that, and what food is required, and what nutrients are required for the entire well-being.
So
But
you did everything on your own?
yes, it was a beautiful experiment.
Wow.
I considered this as a project. And because I was struggling physically also, I was falling ill and energy was getting down. So I had an uplifting, a very uplifted childhood, very positive. And now coming back to that question where you mentioned your mental health, or that was also degrading at some point of time. So I started spending a lot of time with myself alone. I stopped going out in crowd, because it felt like a noise. It felt like a noise, and I was not able to understand why, you know. So then,
But just to like pause you there, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਬੜੀ ਸੋਹਣੀ ਗੱਲ ਕੀਤੀ ਕਿ for you when you landed there in Bombay, a lot of things were happening to your mind also. You were having those emotions and anger and all of those things, but you were not aware ਕਿ ਇਹ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਕੀ ਹੈ ਇਹ ਜੋ ਵੀ ਅੰਦਰ ਚੱਲ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ because ਇੰਨੀ awareness ਹੁੰਦੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀਗੀ. And even today if I see in the young guys even in my time that there is not so much awareness particularly in the families. This is not talked about, like what is going on in your mind, why you're getting angry, why you're feeling scared, what are these emotions, how to handle them. So ਉਹ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਅੰਦਰ awareness ਕਿਵੇਂ ਆਈ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜੇ emotions ਆ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ, this is something I can work with?
Hanji. So the moment I stepped out of home to work, to start exploring, myself, and there were responsibilities also on my head that, being a man, that you have to work. There were some expectations also, not from my parents, but from people around that, munde vadde ho gaye and then they have to do something. So in UIET, I was studying, but I there were no placements, and I had to do something. And then I started, looking for jobs online. I had put my CV on Naukri.com and fortunately got the chance to work as an intern in one of the companies, and we got, converted into the same company. So the moment we stepped out of home, and it was a big puzzle, and there were so many difficulties initially, and ਅੰਦਰੋਂ ਨਾ ਇੱਕ ਆਵਾਜ਼ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਸੀ ਬਸ ਕੋਈ ਗੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੋਈ ਗੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੋਈ ਗੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ. So I was struggling mentally because I was very emotionally attached. I am very emotionally attached, but way back then I was very very emotionally attached to my parents and my ਹੁੰਦਾ ਨਾ ਫਿਰ when you're going out of home suddenly and there are tears falling out, and hidden tears. I never used to show my tears to my family, but it was all back, in the silence, all by myself alone. And
So you handled everything on your own? Did you confide with your family, a friend, ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਰਾ ਆਪ ਹੀ ਉਹਨੂੰ reconcile ਕੀਤਾ?
there were many people along the way. It was like, the whole setup from God, it was there and supporting the step by step process was there. And people were there to listen, to share their experiences. But there were many times when nobody was able to understand what I'm going through. So I used to keep silent. ਫਿਰ ਅੰਦਰੋਂ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੀ ਕੋਈ ਗੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੋਈ ਗੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ. So in harshest of the harshest conditions, we had to reach the office, which was 20-25 kilometers away from where we were living. So ਅੰਦਰੋਂ ਕੋਈ ਗੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਨਾ ਆਵਾਜ਼ ਕੋਈ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੋਈ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੋਈ ਨਹੀਂ. It was like ਅੰਦਰੋਂ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਆਪ ਹੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਕੋਈ ਗੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ.
So this is ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦਾ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇਸ ਨੂੰ ਥੋੜਾ ਹੋਰ ਖੋਲੋ ਕਿ ਜਦੋਂ ਬੰਦਾ ਇਕੱਲਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ and all of this happens, and I think a lot of people go through such anxiety or loneliness or whatever we may call it at different points in time. ਤੇ ਉਹ ਕਿਹੜੀ ਤਾਕਤ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ, what held you ਕਿ ਇਹ ਆਵਾਜ਼ ਵੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਕੋਈ ਗੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਆ ਰਹੀ ਸੀ, ਕੀ ਸੀਗਾ ਐਂਕਰ ਜਿਹਨੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਫੜਿਆ?
Hanji, this anchor, which I was not aware of at that time, but now I'm very well aware ਕਿ ਉਹ anchors ਕੀ ਸੀਗੀਆਂ ਉਹ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਗਾਈਡ ਕਰ ਰਹੀਆਂ ਸੀ, ਤੇ ਉਹ ਕਿਹੜੀ ਆਵਾਜ਼ ਸੀਗੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਅੰਦਰੋਂ ਬੁਰੇ ਵਕਤ 'ਚ ਵੀ ਬੁਰਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਵਾਂਗੇ, ਉਹ ਵੀ ਸੁੰਦਰ ਵਕਤ ਸੀਗਾ, ਇੱਕ ਟੈਸਟਿੰਗ ਫੇਜ਼ ਸੀਗਾ ਫॉर ਮਾਈ ਸੋਲ ਟੂ ਨਿਖਰ ਕੇ ਆਉਣਾ ਬਾਹਰ। ਤੇ ਉਹ ਹੁਣ ਮੈਂ ਜਦੋਂ ਰਿਫਲੈਕਟ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਨਾ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਸਟਰੋਂਗ ਆਵਾਜ਼ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਹੋਈ, ਹਨਾ। ਸੋ ਮੇਰੇ ਗ੍ਰੈਂਡ ਮਦਰ, ਆਈ ਯੂਜ਼ ਟੂ ਯੂ نو ਆਲ ਮਾਈ ਚਾਈਲਡਹੁੱਡ ਮੈਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਸੌਂਦਾ ਆਇਆ, ਤੇ ਅਪ ਟਿਲ 23 24 ਜਦੋਂ ਤੱਕ ਮੈਂ ਗੁੜਗਾਉਂ ਗਿਆ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀਗਾ ਨਾ, ਮੈਂ ਮੇਰੀ ਛੋਟੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਤੋਂ ਮੈਂ ਦਾਦੀ ਨਾਲ ਸੁੱਤਾ ਆਇਆ। ਤੇ I've seen her doing Nitnem, Amrit Vela. So I've seen her do Japji Sahib. So, वही ना अंदरों that energy is so infectious. So whatever we do, and it gets spread to the next individual around. And eventually there was a curiosity within me. मैं पूछा दादी की कर रहे हो, की ਕਰਦੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਹੋ, ਮੈਨੂੰ ਦੱਸੋ। ਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਪਹਿਲੀ ਪੌੜੀ ਦੂਜੀ ਪੌੜੀ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਸਿਖਾਤੀ, ਇੱਕ ਓਂਕਾਰ ਹਨਾ ਤੋਂ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਹਨਾ, ਤੇ 2 ਪੌੜੀਆਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਸਿਖਾਤੀਆਂ, ਐਂਡ ਦੈਟ ਬਿਕੇਮ ਮਾਈ ਐਂਕਰ। ਉਹ ਚੱਲਦੀਆਂ ਰਹਿੰਦੀ ਸੀ। ਤੇ ਛੋਟੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਇੱਕ ਆਊਟ ਆਫ ਡਿਊਟੀ, ਔਰ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਪੇਰੈਂਟਸ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਸੀ ਬਸ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਕਰੀ ਚੱਲੋ, ਕਰੀ ਚੱਲੋ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ, ਬਟ ਨੈਵਰ ਗੋਟ ਟੂ ਨੋ ਦ ਰੀਅਲ ਐਸੈਂਸ ਕਿ ਵਾਈ ਕਿਉਂ ਕਰਨਾ ਹੈ, ਬਟ ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਬਸ ਕਰਦੇ ਰਹੋ। ਸੋ they were very they were my idols, and I used to listen then, ਮੈਂ obedient ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੀਗਾ, ਜੋ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਸੀ ਕਰ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ। ਤੇ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਕਰਦੇ ਰਹੇ। ਤੇ that was also happening when I moved out of home, and ਅੰਦਰੋਂ ਜਦੋਂ ਵੀ ਰੋਣਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੀ ਨਾ, ਮਨ ਰੋ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਕਿ ਹੁਣ ਮੈਂ ਇਕੱਲਾ ਆਇਆ, ਕੌਣ ਹੋਊਗਾ, there will be nobody, ਕਦੇ ਕਦੇ ਗੱਲ ਹੋਊਗੀ, ਕਦੇ ਕਦੇ ਵਾਪਸ ਆਉਣਾ ਹੋਊਗਾ। ਸੋ ਅੰਦਰੋਂ ਆਪੇ ਹੀ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ, ਕੋਈ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੋਈ ਨਹੀਂ। ਸੋ ਉਹ ਆਵਾਜ਼ ਸਟਰੋਂਗ ਹੋ ਰਹੀ ਸੀ ਵਿਦ ਐਵਰੀ ਆਬਸਟੀਕਲ that was coming in front, ਐਂਡ ਉਦੋਂ ਹਾਰਨ ਦੀ ਬਜਾਏ ਅੰਦਰ ਕੋਈ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੋਈ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੋਈ ਨਹੀਂ ਜਰ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੀਗਾ, ਐਂਡਿਓਰ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਸੀਗਾ। ਤੇ ਉਹ ਫਿਰ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਗੁੱਸਾ ਜਗ੍ਹਾ ਬਣਾਉਣ ਵਾਲਾ ਸੀਗਾ, ਉਹ ਫਿਰ ਉੱਥੇ ਹੀ ਹਾਰ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਸੀ, ਐਂਡ ਕੋਈ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਹਿ ਕੇ that patience, that seed of patience was sprouting out into a beautiful tree and branches। and ਤਾਂ ਕਰਕੇ ਹੁਣ ਜਦੋਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਵਾਪਸ ਆਇਆ ਬੰਬੇ ਤੋਂ ਵਾਪਸ ਆਇਆ, ਸੋ देयर वर नो प्लान्स, आई वाज ऑल ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਹੁਣ ਕੀ ਕਰਨਾ ਹੈ। ਤੇ ਇਟ ਇਜ਼ ਐਨ ਇੰਟਰਸਟਿੰਗ ਸਟੋਰੀ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਕਿਉਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਵਾਪਸ ਆਇਆ, ਬੰਬੇ ਕਿਉਂ ਛੱਡ ਕੇ ਆਇਆ। ਇਟ ਵਾਜ਼ ਅ ਬਿਊਟੀਫੁਲ country, not country, city, and it was a good company paying you good package and one of the good MNCs.
So okay ਸੀਗਾ, what made you come back?
What made me come back? ਛੋਟੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਤੋਂ ਪਰਵਰਿਸ਼ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੋਈ ਹੈ ਮੇਰੇ ਨਾਨਕੇ, ਮੇਰੇ ਦਾਦਕੇ, with cousins, with parents. So I've seen a lot of people around, loving, laughing, smiling, playing, ਪਿਆਰ ਜਿਹਨੂੰ ਕਹਿ ਸਕਦੇ ਨਾ, ਕਿ ਪਿਆਰ ਬਹੁਤ ਸੀਗਾ ਘਰ 'ਚ ਛੋਟੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਤੋਂ।
ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਖਿੱਚ ਕੇ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਈ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ?
ਫੈਮਿਲੀ, ਯੈਸ, ਵਨ ਆਫ ਦ ਰੀਜ਼ਨਸ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਸੀਗੀ। ਤੇ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਦਾ ਪਿਆਰ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਉਹ ਮੈਂ ਮਿਸ ਕਰ ਰਿਹਾ ਸੀਗਾ। ਆਈ ਵਾਜ਼ ਆਲ ਅਲੋਨ, ਐਂਡ ਆਈ ਵਾਜ਼ ਉਹ ਨਾ ਮੇਰੀ ਅੰਦਰੋਂ ਇੱਕ ਚੀਜ਼ ਲਿਬਰਲ ਮਾਈਂਡਸੈਟ ਸਟਰੋਂਗ ਵੀ ਹੋ ਰਿਹਾ, ਕਾਫੀ ਕੌਨਫੀਡੈਂਸ ਵੀ ਹੋ ਰਿਹਾ that you're doing so many things at the same time, ਬਟ ਇੱਕ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹਿੱਸਾ ਅੰਦਰੋਂ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਕਿ ਨਹੀਂ, there is still a void, ਅੰਦਰੋਂ ਪਨ ਸੀਗਾ, ਖਾਲੀਪਨ ਸੀਗਾ। ਕਿ then one day I was sitting with myself, and a question popped up from within कि can I do this for the rest of my life? ਉੱਥੋਂ ਹੀ ਜਵਾਬ ਆ ਗਿਆ, ਨਹੀਂ।
So it was ਇੱਕ emotional attachment with the family, and at the same time can I say ਕਿ ਕੋਈ sense of responsibility ਵੀ ਸੀਗੀ ਕਿ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਪੂਰੀ ਬਚਪਨ ਵਿੱਚ ਇੰਨਾ ਕੁਝ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਹੈ, ਹੁਣ ਮੈਂ ਵੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਰਹਿ ਕੇ ਆਪਣਾ ਅਸੀਂ ਪਿਆਰ ਤੇ ਦੁੱਖ ਸੁੱਖ ਵੰਡੀਏ, ਇਕੱਠੇ ਰਹੀਏ, ਔਰ ਇਟ ਵਾਸ ਜਸਟ ਐਨ ਇਮੋਸ਼ਨਲ ਡਿਪੈਂਡੈਂਸ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਬੁਲਾ ਰਹੀ ਸੀਗੀ? ਵਾਟ ਵਾਸ ਇਟ? ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਕਈ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਦੀ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ 'ਚ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਦਾ ਮੌਕਾ ਵੀ ਆ ਸਕਦਾ ਹੈ that they will have to stay like separate from the family to work. So ਮੈਂ ਉਸ ਐਂਗਲ ਤੋਂ ਸਮਝਣਾ ਚਾਹ ਰਿਹਾ ਕਿ
ਹਾਂਜੀ ਹਾਂਜੀ। ਸੋ ਲਾਈਕ when a child grows, the parents are also growing at the same time. ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਤਾਂ young, flourishing, optimum health. I was so free, I was so liberal. What every teenager or what every young person would want in life ਕਿ free ਹੋ ਗਏ ਤੇ you can explore, travel everywhere you want. So I had done everything of that. But whenever I used to come home, ਜਿਵੇਂ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਬਾਣੀ ਪੜ੍ਹਦਾ ਗਿਆ, ਇਕੱਲੇ ਬਹਿ ਕੇ ਬਾਣੀ ਉਹ ਪੜ੍ਹਦਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੀ, ਜਪਜੀ ਸਾਹਿਬ, ਹੌਲੀ ਹੌਲੀ ਕੰਟੈਂਪਲੇਸ਼ਨ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕੀਤੀ, ਰਿਫਲੈਕਸ਼ਨ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕੀਤੀ, ਤੇ ਸੋ ਦੈਟ ਵਾਜ਼ ਓਪਨਿੰਗ ਦੀ ਆਈ which was so empathetical, which was so sensitive. It could sense the vibrations around, even when nobody is speaking. I could sense those vibrations. ਤੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਵੀ ਘਰ ਆਉਣਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੀ ਨਾ, I could see my parents are going through something, some turmoil or the other. ਤੇ ਉਹ ਚੀਜ਼ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਦੂਰ ਰਹਿ ਕੇ ਪਰੇਸ਼ਾਨ ਵੀ ਕਰਦੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਸੀ, ਲਾਈਕ ਯੂ ਸੈਡ, ਸੈਂਸ ਆਫ ਰਿਸਪੌਂਸਿਬਿਲਿਟੀ।
ਤੇ ਇੱਕ ਖਿੱਚ ਜੀ
ਖਿੱਚ
ਸੀਗੀ।
ਸੀਗੀ, ਇੱਕ ਖਿੱਚ ਸੀਗੀ। ਤੇ ਬਟ ਆਈ ਵਾਜ਼ ਵੇਟਿੰਗ ਫॉर ਅ ਸਾਈਨ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਸਾਈਨ ਸਟਰੋਂਗ ਹੋਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਹੈ, ਦੈਟ ਆਈ ਹੈਵ ਟੂ ਟੇਕ ਅ ਬਿਗ ਡਿਸੀਜਨ ਇਨ ਮਾਈ ਲਾਈਫ, ਕਿ ਗਿਵ ਅਪ ਮਾਈ ਕਰੀਅਰ ਐਂਡ ਸਟਾਰਟ ਅ ਨਿਊ ਥਿੰਗ ਰਾਈਟ ਫਰੋਮ ਦ ਸਕ੍ਰੈਚ। ਉਹ ਕੀ ਹੋਊਗਾ, ਉਦੋਂ ਕੁਝ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀਗਾ ਮਨ 'ਚ,
ਕੁਝ ਬਲੈਂਕ ਸੀਗਾ।
it was all blank, but there was one beautiful strong hope. I used to post a lot of workout videos online on Instagram. ਤੇ ਨਾਮ ਮੈਂ ਪਤਾ ਕੀ ਰੱਖਿਆ ਸੀ, ਦ ਇੰਡੀਅਨ ਸ਼ਾਰਕ। ਸੋ ਉਦੋਂ ਟ੍ਰੈਂਡ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਇਆ ਸੀਗਾ ਦਿਸ ਵਰਕਆਊਟ, ਇਟ ਵਾਜ਼ ਵੇ ਬਿਫੋਰ ਕੋਵਿਡ। ਆਮ ਟਾਕਿੰਗ ਅਬਾਊਟ 2016 ਐਂਡ 17। ਗਿਣੇ ਚੁਣੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਵਰਕਆਊਟ ਦੀਆਂ ਵੀਡੀਓਜ਼ ਪਾਉਂਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ, ਕਰਦੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਸੀਗੇ। But I started posting videos, one post every day. And so I don't know kitthon naam aaya, but people started relating a lot. Wow, very disciplined, very disciplined and focused and devoted.
ਤੇ ਡਿਸਪਲਿਨ ਕਿੱਥੋਂ ਆਇਆ? ਬਚਪਨ ਤੋਂ ਸੀਗਾ, ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਤੋਂ ਆਇਆ, ਜਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਕੌਨਸ਼ੀਅਸਲੀ ਕਲਟੀਵੇਟ ਕੀਤਾ?
ਬਚਪਨ 'ਚ ਡਿਸਪਲਿਨ ਇੰਨਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀਗਾ, ਬਟ ਦੇਰ ਵਾਜ਼ ਸਮਥਿੰਗ ਵਿਦਿਨ ਕਿ ਯੂ ਹੈਵ ਟੂ ਡੂ ਥਿੰਗਸ ਦ ਰਾਈਟ ਵੇ, ਯੂ ਹੈਵ ਟੂ ਡੂ ਥਿੰਗਸ ਦੀ ਐਥੀਕਲ ਵੇ, ਕਿ ਚੰਗੀ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਚੀਜ਼ ਕਰਨੀ ਹੈ, ਕੋਈ ਵੀ ਚੀਜ਼ ਕਰਨੀ ਹੈ। ਤੇ ਬਟ ਮੈਂ ਉਹ ਫੇਜ਼ ਵੀ ਦੇਖਿਆ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਇਨਡਿਸਪਲਿਨ ਵਾਜ਼ ਟੋਰਮੈਂਟਿੰਗ ਮੀ ਔਰ ਹੌਂਟਿੰਗ ਮੀ ਔਰ ਟੇਕਿੰਗ ਲੀਡ ਇਨ ਮਾਈ ਲਾਈਫ। ਐਂਡ ਨਾਓ ਆਈ ਸੀ ਬੈਕ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਇਨਡਿਸਪਲਿਨ ਕਰਕੇ ਕਿੰਨੇ ਲੋਕ ਪਰੇਸ਼ਾਨ ਹੋ ਰਹੇ ਸੀਗੇ ਮੇਰੇ ਕਰਕੇ, even though it was a little intensity, but ਕਾਫੀ environment ਵੀ ਪਰੇਸ਼ਾਨ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ ਇਨਡਿਸਪਲਿਨ ਕਰਕੇ। ਤੇ ਇਨਡਿਸਪਲਿਨ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਟੁੱਟਿਆ? ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਜੌਬ ਕਰਨੀ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕੀਤੀ, ਸੋ it's a very organized structure when we talk about, and that is the most beautiful thing for corporation, I would say, ਕਿ ਉੱਥੇ ਬੰਦਾ ਬਣਾ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਹੈ ਕਿ being an employee we have to reach on time. So you have to, if you have to reach on time, that you have to get up on time, and if you have to leave on time, then you have to do your own basic things, something for yourself, and in order to do those things, one has to be punctual enough, and one has to be disciplined enough to sleep on time, to get up on time, and to make some time for yourself, for your hobbies. So ਉੱਥੋਂ ਸ਼ੁਰੂਆਤ ਹੋ ਗਈ ਸੀਗੀ। ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਜੇ ਇਨਡਿਸਪਲਿਨ ਇਹ ਥੋੜ੍ਹਾ ਬਹੁਤਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਘਰ ਦਾ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਜੇ ਇੱਥੇ ਆ ਜਾਵਾਂਗਾ, then things will not happen, and
ਤੁਸੀਂ ਖੁਦ ਦੇਖ ਲਿਆ ਸੀਗਾ ਕਿ ਇਨਡਿਸਪਲਿਨ ਨਾਲ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ,
ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਣੀਆਂ, ਬਿਕੋਜ਼ I admire the discipline of organized or organizations or corporations. ਉਹਨਾਂ 'ਚ discipline ਬਹੁਤ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ। People I was looking up to, they are very disciplined, ਬਹੁਤ disciplined ਸੀਗੇ, ਟਾਈਮ ਤੇ ਆਉਣਾ, ਟਾਈਮ ਤੇ ਜਾਣਾ, ਤੇ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਰੁਕਣ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ ਐਕਸਟਰਾ।
ਬਟ ਵਾਟ ਆਈ ਹੈਵ ਆਲਸੋ ਸੀਨ ਇਜ਼, ਮੈਂ ਆਪ ਕਾਰਪੋਰੇਟ ਵਿੱਚ ਬਹੁਤ ਟਾਈਮ ਰਿਹਾ, ਤੇ ਮੇਰਾ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਸੀ, ਕੰਮ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਤੇ ਡਿਸਪਲਿਨ, ਆਪਣੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਨੋ ਡਿਸਪਲਿਨ, ਕਿ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਕੰਮ ਦਾ ਤੇ ਡੰਡਾ ਹੈ, ਲਾਈਕ ਇਟਸ ਔਨ ਮਾਈ ਹੈਡ ਦੈਟ ਆਈ ਹੈਵ ਟੂ ਡੂ ਇਟ, but then for me there is no external party holding me to do it. Then it was only before I had to go through all of those experiences to realize that I have to enforce self discipline for the things that I have to achieve in life. ਉਹ ਕੋਈ ਹੋਰ ਆ ਕੇ ਮੇਰੇ ਸਿਰ ਤੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਦੇਗਾ। ਸੋ ਆਈ ਗੈਸ ਉਹ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਵੀ ਐਗਰੀ ਕਰੋਗੇ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਬਹੁਤ ਇੰਪੋਰਟੈਂਟ ਹੈ।
ਤੇ ਡਿਫਰੈਂਟ ਫੇਜ਼ਸ ਆਏ ਲਾਈਫ 'ਚ, ਬਟ ਉਹ ਸਾਰੇ ਕਿਤੇ ਨਾ ਕਿਤੇ ਇੰਸਪਾਇਰ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਦਿਸ ਇਜ਼ ਵਨ ਆਫ ਦੀ virtue that one has to adopt in life, without discipline other things will fall a little weaker. ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਆਵਾਜ਼ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਬੁਲੰਦ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਊਗੀ ਜੇ ਡਿਸਪਲਿਨ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ। ਤੇ ਤੇ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਦਾਤ ਹੀ ਸਮਝਦਾ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਵੀ ਇੱਕ ਗੁਰਪ੍ਰਸਾਦ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਹੈ ਨਾ, ਇੱਕ ਬਲੇਸਿੰਗ। ਸੋ ਝੋਲੀ ਭਾਈ ਡਿਸਪਲਿਨ ਦੀ ਤੇ ਹਲੇ ਵੀ ਆਈ ਸਟਰਗਲ ਸਮਟਾਈਮਸ ਵਿਦ ਮਾਈ ਡਿਸਪਲਿਨ ਬਟ ਆਈ take some rest off and then I get back.
Get back. Same with me. Like when as I have entered into this new line of work, I work as a life coach now, and I've seen like discipline is so important because before this I have mostly worked in organizations, but to do something as an entrepreneur, you really have to be disciplined every day, take those baby steps, and that materializes into something, culminates, and then you see the results. When you look back, wow, so much has happened in 1 month, and you've like just drop by drop contributed every day. ਤੇ ਹੁਣ ਪਿੱਛੇ ਹੋਇਆ ਸੀਗਾ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਥੋੜਾ ਮਮ ਡੈਡ ਸੀਗੇ ਸਲੈਕ ਕਰ ਗਿਆ ਤੇ ਹਫਤਾ I was not really doing much. But then I realized that for me to come back to the flow, it took a lot of strength, it took a lot of energy. When you're already in the flow and every day taking that step does not take that much energy. So which is where I found that perhaps not breaking it completely is it's not a good idea. Just keeping it moving little every day, it's I think very important.
ਜਿਵੇਂ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਵੀ ਮਰਿਆਦਾ ਤੇ ਬੜਾ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਬਚਨ ਬਹੁਤ ਨੇ ਮਰਿਆਦਾ ਤੇ। ਸੋ ਦੈਟ ਵਾਜ਼ ਆਲਸੋ ਵਨ ਥਿੰਗ ਦੈਟ ਵਾਜ਼ ਪ੍ਰੀਪੇਅਰਿੰਗ ਮੀ ਕਿ ਗੈਟਿੰਗ ਅਪ अर्ਲੀ ਐਂਡ ਉਹਦਾ ਵੀ ਐਸੈਂਸ ਮਹਿਸੂਸ ਹੋਣ ਲੱਗ ਗਿਆ ਸੀਗਾ ਦੈਟ ਕਾਫੀਆਂ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਸਵੇਰੇ ਹੀ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੀਆਂ ਸੀ ਐਂਡ ਦੈਨ ਯੂ ਹੈਵ ਅ ਲੋਟ।
ਕਿੰਨੇ ਵਜੇ ਉੱਠਦੇ ਹੋ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਫਿਰ?
I try to get up at 3:45.
Wow, every day.
Every day. ਕਈ ਵਾਰੀ ਅਲਾਰਮ ਵੱਜਦਾ ਰਹਿੰਦਾ ਬਟ ਆਈ ਪ੍ਰੇ ਬਿਫੋਰ ਸਲੀਪਿੰਗ ਕਿ ਉੱਠ ਜਾਈਏ ਕਿ ਆਪ ਹੀ ਉੱਠ ਜਾਈਏ ਵਿਲਿੰਗਲੀ। ਤੇ then I start getting ready at 4:30 then the day starts.
ਦਿਨ ਚ ਨੀਂਦਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਉਂਦੀ?
ਨਿੰਦਰ ਉਦੋਂ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਹੈ ਜਦੋਂ there are some unresolved queries going inside and there are few things that are not happening at the same time ਤੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਹੋਣੀ ਚਾਹੀਦੀਆਂ ਸੀਗੀਆਂ ਫਿਰ ਉਹ ਨਾ એનર્ਜੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਕੰਜ਼ਿਊਮ ਕਰਦੀ ਹੈ।
Oh, so you're saying when the mind is churning, that is what takes away most of the energy.
ਨਹੀਂ ਤਾਂ ਇੰਨੀ ਜ਼ਰੂਰਤ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ ਵੈਸੇ ਬੋਡੀ ਨੂੰ ਰੈਸਟ।
So for this, have you consciously worked on the mind, or it has just happened by way of your discipline with Gurbani and Nitnem, and perhaps your nurturing with by your family?
ਸੋ ਕੌਨਸ਼ੀਅਸਲੀ ਬਸ ਮੈਂ ਇੱਕ ਚੀਜ਼ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਜਦੋਂ ਵੀ ਫ੍ਰੀ ਹੋਵਾਂ ਜਦੋਂ ਵੀ ਬਿਜ਼ੀ ਵੀ ਹੋਵਾਂ ਕਿ ਉਦੋਂ ਆਈ ਟਰਾਈ ਟੂ ਬਿਲਡ ਅ ਰਿਲੇਸ਼ਨਸ਼ਿਪ ਵਿਦ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਤੇ ਅਕਾਲ ਪੁਰਖ ਜੀ। So it's more of I'm try to fall in love with God as much as I can so that the one can take care of me, my discipline and my life, and which is happening with grace so far, and it'll happen. I'll pray, okay, may it happen forever. So I just try to put some extra efforts to fall a little more in love with God.
Wow.
I try to read more words, more reflections from Gurbani, which makes me fall in love even more. I try to read those scriptures or text or literature that makes me fall in love even more. So that is also some form of sacrifice, and with that sacrifice, with that surrender, those blessings or those virtues that a normal human being would do so much of hard work for that to attain those virtues, ਫਿਰ ਉਹ ਝੋਲੀ ਪੈ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਹੈ ਤਾਂ ਮਹਿਸੂਸ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਕਿ it comes the easy way to you if we really try to connect or build a relationship with God. So the one which had been hampered for so many years. So
ਤੇ ਇੱਥੇ ਵੀ ਉਹੀ ਹੈ because like even if I look at reflect onto my own life, perhaps ਅਸੀਂ ਇਸ relationship ਨੂੰ ਥੋੜਾ ਜਿਹਾ second role ਦੇ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਆ that ਹਫਤੇ 'ਚ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਯਾਦ ਕਰ ਲਿਆ ਜਾਂ ਦਿਨ 'ਚ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰੀ ਕਰ ਲਿਆ ਤੇ ਹੋ
ਹਾਂਜੀ
ਗਿਆ। ਐਂਡ ਵੈਨ ਇਟ ਇਜ਼ ਦੀ ਐਸੈਂਸ, ਇਟ ਲਾਈਜ਼ at the foundation of everything. It is who we are at the end of the day. And we get so involved in this manifested reality. ਅਸੀਂ ਇਸ ਰੋਲ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਸੇ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇੰਨੇ ਰੁੱਝ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਭੁੱਲ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ ਕਿ ਅਸਲੀਅਤ ਸਾਡੀ ਕੀ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਸਾਡਾ ਉਹ ਐਂਕਰ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਹੈ ਕੀ। ਐਂਡ
ਹਾਂਜੀ
ਇਟਸ ਇਜ਼ ਸੋ ਬਿਊਟੀਫੁਲ ਵਾਟ ਯੂ ਸੇ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਉਸ ਦੀ ਐਂਕਰ ਦੀ ਪ੍ਰੇਜ਼ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ you try to connect in a more and more disciplined way throughout the day
ਹਾਂਜੀ
by enjoying that more and more. And that is, in a sense, spending time with God, spending
ਹਾਂਜੀ
time with your loved one, right?
ਹਾਂਜੀ ਤੇ ਹੁਣ ਉਹੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਹੁਣ ਹਰ ਇੱਕ ਕਾਰਜ, ਹੁਣ ਹਰ ਇੱਕ ਐਕਟੀਵਿਟੀ, be it walking, so it's not just walking, then you're walking with divine, you're talking with divine, you're
Wow.
sleeping with divine, then you're working with divine.
Wow.
And so I crave for that relationship where
So you consciously always have this inner awareness that the
okay,
divine is with me,
and
walking with me, he's talking through my mouth.
and he's listening to my words also,
Wow.
how it has to come out. ਤੇ ਜੇ ਗੁੱਸੇ ਨਾਲ ਨਿਕਲਦਾ ਵੀ ਫਿਰ ਅੰਦਰੋਂ ਸੱਟ ਵੀ ਵੱਜਦੀ ਹੈ ਇੱਕਦਮ, ਸੋ ਦੈਟ ਕੁਇਕ
ਤੇ ਅਗਰ ਕੋਈ ਇਸ ਨੂੰ ਕਲਟੀਵੇਟ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ, ਲਾਈਕ let's say I want to cultivate more of this, what are some tips that you can give? ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਇਹਨੂੰ like cultivate more of this
more
conscious
of this,
awareness throughout the day?
more of this. So I would say humility is one thing that brings us very 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 close to God, ਹੈ ਨਾ। ਜਿੱਥੇ ਕਬੀਰ ਜੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਕਿ ਜਦ ਮੈਂ ਹੁੰਨਾ ਉਦੋਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦੇ, ਜਦੋਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਹੁੰਨੇ ਹੋ ਤੇ ਉਦੋਂ ਮੈਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ। ਤੇ ਉਹ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਵਿਸ਼ਾਲ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਉਹ ਭਰਿਆ ਪਿਆ ਭੰਡਾਰ ਹੈ ਵਰਚੂਜ਼ ਦਾ। ਤੇ ਓਸ਼ਨ ਹੈ, ਇਟਸ ਐਨ ਓਸ਼ਨ ਆਫ ਐਵਰੀ ਸਿੰਗਲ ਵਰਚੂ ਦੈਟ ਵੀ ਕੈਨ ਐਵਰ ਥਿੰਕ ਆਫ। ਉਹ ਸਾਰੀਆਂ ਉਸ 'ਚੋਂ ਰਤਨ ਮਿਲਦੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ। ਤੇ ਇਫ ਸਮਬਡੀ ਵਾਂਟਸ ਟੂ ਕਲਟੀਵੇਟ that discipline or a connection with God, I would say, ਚਾਹੇ ਖੁਸ਼ੀ ਦਾ ਪਲ ਹੈ ਚਾਹੇ ਸੁੱਖ ਦਾ ਪਲ ਹੈ ਨਾ, ਹੱਥ ਮੇਰੇ ਮਤਲਬ ਆਈ ਟਰਾਈ ਕਿ ਮੇਰੇ ਹੱਥ ਜੁੜੇ ਰਹਿਣ, ਸੋ ਦੈਟ ਇਜ਼ ਆਲਸੋ ਅ ਸਾਈਨ ਆਫ ਹਿਊਮਿਲਿਟੀ ਔਰ ਗਰਾਊਂਡਿੰਗ ਕੇ ਚਾਹੇ ਸੁੱਖ ਹੈ ਚਾਹੇ ਦੁੱਖ ਹੈ, ਸਟੇ ਹੰਬਲ ਐਂਡ ਸਟੇ। ਕਿ ਉੱਥੋਂ ਫਿਰ ਨਾਲ ਦੀ ਨਾਲ ਇੱਕ ਪ੍ਰੇਅਰ, ਇੱਕ ਅਰਦਾਸ ਦੇ ਰੂਪ 'ਚ ਨਾ ਇੱਕ ਸੈਟਲ ਅਰਦਾਸ ਚਲੀ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਇਟਸ ਆਲ ਯੋਰਸ, ਜੇ ਸੁੱਖ ਵੀ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਦੁੱਖ ਵੀ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਹੈ, ਯੂ ਟੇਕ ਕੇਅਰ ਆਫ ਇਟ,
ਬਿਊਟੀਫੁਲ।
ਹਾਂਜੀ।
ਹੁਣ ਅਸੀਂ ਥੋੜਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਸ਼ਿਫਟ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਲੈਟਸ ਮੂਵ ਟੂ ਦ ਫਿਜ਼ੀਕਲ ਫਿਟਨੈਸ ਆਫ ਦ ਬੋਡੀ। ਤੇ what is your opinion, how important it is to be physically fit and regularly work on your fitness? Like let's say people have these questions that I don't have any health issues, I don't have any problems, then why should I have active fitness or cardio or strength training? ਕਿਉਂ ਕਰਨੀ ਹੈ ਇਹ? ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਹਿੰਦੁਸਤਾਨ ਵਿੱਚ ਤੇ ਇਹ ਕਲਚਰ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀਗਾ।
ਹਾਂਜੀ, ਸੋ ਕੁਛ ਕੁ ਸਾਲ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ there was no technology and people they had to work and they had to leave home to earn a livelihood, so there was already a lot of activity in their lives ਕਿ ਆਪਾਂ ਚੱਲ ਫਿਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ, ਤੁਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ, there were no vehicles, ਤੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਮਾਰਕੀਟ ਜਾ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ and we were going by walk by foot, ਹੈ ਨਾ। ਤੇ ਉਦੋਂ there were some activity which was going on, but these days when the technology has taken over ਤੇ ਉਸਨੇ ਮਾਈਂਡਸ ਨੂੰ ਆਪਣੇ ਵੱਲ ਕਾਫੀ ਪ੍ਰੇਰਿਤ ਕਰ ਲਿਆ ਤੇ and everything is like a click away, Swiggy, food order, this that, है ना। So we have stopped moving out of home and people are getting weaker. If I would say our parents are getting weaker and the younger generation also, they are also getting weaker mentally first and then physically. It shows on their physical health also. ਤੇ ਮਨ ਨੂੰ ਸਮਝਣਾ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਬੋਡੀ ਨੂੰ ਸਮਝਣਾ ਪੈਂਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ because this is a vessel and this has to be, you know, healthy, optimum health. In order to connect with your soul, we have to connect with the body first, and what's going on with this body and how to take care of this body, and then
कल ऑन करते हैं वही ऑन नहीं हो रहा ऊपर वाले दीवार देखो नहीं पड़े हो गया हाँ हाँ बहुत बार बार स्टार्ट करते हैं जब भी बंद हो जाए
हाँ जी. So it is very important to connect with your body first, and then only your spiritual quest will start. We cannot talk about spirituality with somebody who has not worked on their body, initially.
It's the most material, most available aspect of our being that we need to connect to. I completely agree with this because, like, since childhood, I've been such a mental person, and then eventually, when I really became aware of connecting with the body and how that completely transformed the trajectory of my life, connecting with my own body, and in even healing the health issues, because most of the health issues which we feel pains in the body are just because of our disconnection with the body, not being aware where the body is, how does it feel, how am I sitting, where it is hurting, is it relaxed or not. So I completely see this point. Now, if for example somebody says I do have an active lifestyle, मैं तो रोज सैर करता, I walk for like 4 or 5 kilometers, is then strength training also important, or just like doing walking and or cycling, is that enough?
Walking can cover only few muscle groups, your calves, probably your shins and your knees. But in order to support your joints, we need a lot of work on our upper body strength as well, your thighs as well, and they can only be done if your body is thrown or put into stress at different angles. So, walking is just one particular angle, and cycling is also just one particular angle. So, we have seen many people who come forward with the query that ਸਾਡੇ ਗੋਡੇ ਦਰਦ ਹੋ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਸੈਰ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਕਰਕੇ है ना, साइकिलिंग ज़्यादा करके, then they realize that it is very important. In order to keep your healthy joints, we have to work a lot more on other muscle groups also, be it arms or core, or we have to work on the weight as well accordingly. So walking is therapeutic, yes. It's good for mental health, yes, but we cannot say that this is good.
It's not complete.
Complete, this is not complete, and we have to put a little more effort.
So what you're pointing to at, which I also learned later in my life, is for a healthy knee, I also need a healthy spine, and for a healthy spine, I also need healthy shoulders,
shoulder.
because it's all one. It's not like how the English system of medicine looks at it कि एक गोड्डा है जीवन गिरता खराब हो गया गोड्डा
और
बदल
दवाई
दिया
ले लो,
वो
या
गोड्डे की प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, it's on one building.
हाँ जी,
So we definitely need to work on all muscle, engage all muscle groups, which is what you're saying.
हाँ जी.
So where does calisthenics come into the picture here? Why did you go for calisthenics
Why
and not
calisthenics?
those regular weight training gym type exercises, which never worked for me, by the way?
Wow. So when I started gymming with weights, and I had a good experience with those weight training also, and but there was something that I used to love, doing push-ups and doing pull-ups. I used to try a lot, pulling myself up. I could lift, I could do bench press, but I could not lift my body up the bar. And that was something के यार try करना है, let's keep on trying, let's keep on trying, करो 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 ਹੁੰਦਾ ਕੀ ਹੈ, let's है ना, ਕੀ ਮਹਿਸੂਸ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ? ਤੇ push-ups ਤੇ pull-ups, there were those basics that I really loved even before knowing what is calisthenics. I started to learn about calisthenics only when I started posting online, which was 2016. ਉਦੋਂ word ਆਇਆ ਸਾਹਮਣੇ calisthenics ਕੀ ਹੁੰਦਾ, ਫਿਰ ਮੈਂ ਸਰਚ ਕੀਤਾ, They Holly Holly when I used to come back home in my vacations after every 2 week, for 2 days or 3 days or after a month or so. They I used to go to Sukhna Lake. So there is a pull-up bar there, very beautiful pull-up bar, and it's still there for so many years, and that is the place for so many athletes that are working on calisthenics. So I used to do pull-ups there. Because मैं जिम नहीं जाता ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਜਦੋਂ ਵੀ ਚੰਡੀਗੜ੍ਹ ਆਣਾ ਹੈ ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਬੋਡੀ ਵੇਟ ਟ੍ਰੇਨਿੰਗ ਕਰਨੀ ਹੈ so that was the transition happening. That was the phase my transition was happening from weightlifting, from machines, using machines, and also utilizing your body as a equipment or the entire gym. So I learned that this body can be the entire gym. You just need
Wow.
some space and we just need some awareness. Like, fair, this is something interesting that needs to be done and that needs to be shared also. Way back before COVID, we used to work out. There were so many kids and there were so many athletes that used to connect. Wow, let's learn together, let's do workouts together. फिर कोविड आया, all gyms were shut. बट मेरे घरे ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਹੀ ਪੁੱਲ-ਅਪ ਬਾਰ ਲੱਗਿਆ ਹੋਇਆ ਸੀ आई वाज द वन डूइंग फर्स्ट सो मैं पुल-अप भी कर रहा ਸੀ ਪੁਸ਼-ਅਪਸ ਵੀ ਕਰ ਰਿਹਾ ਸੀ so nothing stopped my fitness journey. But I was also feeling sorry for the ones who are not able to go out and work out in the gym because they were so dependent on machines. So it was the dependency which was hurting them now. But if we had some awareness about our own body and how can we utilize this as a tool to work out, then there are so many possibilities. And I was living those possibilities with grace during those times also. And after COVID, Sabar happened.
All right. Which is when it culminated, you having that realization during the COVID period that how beautiful this system is. Your body itself is the gym, it is complete in itself. Just like for a child, it is the body that the child has. And the child keeps moving the body in all different ways throughout the day, and which is where it kind of engages each and every muscle. The intention of the child is to just keep exploring. And then you thought that maybe there can be a space like this in Chandigarh.
And it took a lot of time to actually manifest Sabar. And I was also going through some rough patches in my life, and I needed a space where I could be myself.
Wow.
So while Sabar was being prepared, and it took a lot many months to prepare, है ना, holy. So I used to go and sit there and just be by myself, do workout, relax, and I was the first client of Sabar, I would say. I was the first
Wow.
person who was being healed physically and mentally by Sabar.
Wow.
So that place was a safe haven for me, and I used to just go and be there all by myself, silence, listen to Gurbani, do part and do workout, and come back home and sleep. So although I felt there was something going on inside, that nobody is able to understand. I was not aware what is there inside and ek hi ho raha hai. I started being aloof. So Sabar was there to support me. I never knew that this will be opened for the entire community and for the mass to join us. So as I moved back from Bombay, there were expectations कि हुन मुंडा बाहरों आया है, 4 साल ला के आया कुछ करूँगा. So, but I wasn't ready. है ना? I wasn't ready completely, I would say. But everyone was like, करो, है ना? There is space and and waste हो रही है space. क्यों हो रही है? चलो करो. You have to,
So that space,
trust.
you already had that space, or you took it on rent?
It is on rent. So
Okay.
previously it was our own space, but
Acha.
during the course of time we had to sell it off. Now we are the tenants there.
Okay.
So previously it was like it was gifted on my lap, okay, karo. But I wasn't ready to start from the scratch. There was fear, there was a lot of pressure also, and how this will manifest because this was being manifested, for the first time ever. And
Hmm.
ਉਹ ਅੰਦਰੋਂ ਆ ਰਿਹਾ ਸੀਗਾ, ਬਟ ਉਹ ਅੰਦਰੋਂ ਆਂਦੇ ਆਂਦੇ ਕਈ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਵੀ ਚੱਲ ਰਹੀਆਂ ਸੀ ਨਾਲ, ਤੇ ਉਹ ਮੈਂ ਚਾਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਉਹ ਸਪੋਇਲਡ ਨਾ ਹੋਵੇ ਜੇ ਆ ਰਿਹਾ, then it has
Right,
to
no,
be
and
very
which is
beautiful.
like what you talked about. It's so beautiful that you would go there and you were the first customer of Sabar.
So, yes.
This solitary work, being in solitude and working like a monk, because like I see that in today's day and age, there is this FOMO, right? Fear of missing out. People are like कि ਉਹ ਕੀ ਕਰ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ, ਉਹ ਮੈਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਇਕੱਲਾ ਹਾਂ, ਉੱਥੇ ਚੱਲਾਂ, ਚਲੋ, like let me join the gang. But then we really need to take out time to focus on what we need to do. Even if ਜੇ ਵੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਕੱਲੇ ਵੀ ਹਾਂ ਉੱਥੇ, it's
ਹਾਂਜੀ,
okay. And this is a treasure which I have also been blessed with now in my life. Ki if there is something which is attracting us, which is giving us, which is nurturing us, it is okay to walk the path alone. ਤੇ
ਹਾਂਜੀ,
ਤੁਸੀਂ alone ਕਦੇ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋ, ਜਿਵੇਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਹਿ ਰਹੇ ਸੀਗੇ, the guru
ਬਿਲਕੁਲ,
is always helping you walk the path each step of the way. And then
ਹਾਂਜੀ,
as we walk the path, people just come in, they
ਹਾਂਜੀ,
join, and it is not the other way around. There's this expectation, I think, in youth and in a lot of people that things should happen ready made. It is when you walk the journey and you leave the footsteps, then on those footsteps, the entire world starts to follow you,
ਹਾਂਜੀ,
which
ਹਾਂਜੀ,
is so beautiful. Now, coming back to like Sabar and reflecting on your own journey, if today there is like the younger Paramjot, the let's say
hmm.
8 years, 9 years, 10 years back, and a young guy who's looking at physical fitness, what are some like key things to focus on that you would suggest?
I would suggest, every single individual, not just kids. I would say that one should visit hospitals some days, or probably once a week or once a month. So
Hmm.
that gives us a kick and that sense of gratitude that we have
Wow.
so much and we are not doing enough. We have everything that we need to lead a life, but we are not making any efforts.
Hmm.
So that always gives me, sense of humility के सब कुछ हैगा, and also gratitude के सब कुछ हैगा. You know we have to do something with this body, and we have to keep it healthy, and we have to be happy with this also. And also I would say, let's not wait for any chronic condition to develop, because it will develop. If this body is not active, if this body is not moving, and if there is no blood circulation within, then something chronic or condition or disease is going to happen. And that becomes the realization for us to start then. But it's very important to start way before, so that it can be prevented. So it's always, prevention is always better than cure. And I would say, don't start your physical journey just for the aesthetics that you are trying to achieve, but for the mindset that it gives during the journey. That is so beautiful.
Hmm.
It will give us patience. It will tell us how to rest and how much to do, how much not to do. If we do so much in short span of time, then there will be injuries. Similarly, in life, if we try to do so much in such a short interval, we are going to get a little anxious about it or overwhelmed with emotions. So that journey was going, along that spiritual and physical journey. So I would say, do it, because it is as important as eating food.
Eating food, it's like a part of who you are. It's not like for being like us having a six pack या कोई बहुत ही ਤੁਸੀਂ fitness championship जितनी है. It is a basic need, just like as basic as breathing or eating food, which is what I completely agree with. I have realized after like coming to Sabar for the past around 4 months now, I think I've been more disciplined coming to Sabar than ever in my physical routine. Halaki, there is more room to improve it. But I've like there is tremendous power in working on your body on a regular basis. I do agree with that. And like the other aspect that you talked about, that when you discovered calisthenics and working with your own body, that if you are conscious of your body, then you can use it as a gym for your own self. This consciousness, I think, is really, really critical, because I remember the first day I came in and how you walked me through all of the different exercises. That experience in itself was transformative for me. ਜਿਵੇਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇੱਕ ਚੀਜ਼ ਬੜੇ ਕੌਨਸ਼ੀਅਸਲੀ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਦੱਸੀ ਕਿ ਹਾਊ ਯੋਰ ਪ੍ਰੋਟੈਕਟਡ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਹੈ, contracted ਕਿਵੇਂ ਹੈ, and how your elbow should be in or out, each and every position, conscious of the breathing, relaxing rest of the body. And it kind of culminated for me also at Sabar, because I had been doing different kinds of yoga, and in during Iyengar yoga मैं वो की थी 3-4 महीने, and then another one. And fortunately the coaches I got, they were always focusing on awareness of the body. And when it culminated here, I really like felt such gratitude for being more conscious and aware and enjoying what you're doing. Like, for example, if I'm stretching at the end of the exercise, just being in that stretch, being one with it, that is actually so much more enjoyable than trying to rush through it. कि मेरी घड़ी च टाइम चल रहा है, and then I'm looking at my phone, and then like just hitting the gym and pushing some weights, because you really don't need any consciousness for that. ਉਹ ਮਸ਼ੀਨ ਬਣੀ ਪਈ ਹੈ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉੱਥੇ ਕਰੀ ਜਾਓ. But when you're doing something with your own hands, ਤੁਸੀਂ push up ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ, diamond push up ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ, pull up ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ, like if you're not conscious, I've seen like how one hand can pull more and the other can pull less. And that balance and that harmony is actually a reflection of the harmony of the mind and the harmony that manifests in your life in general. So you're so right. Like cultivating this consciousness through working on your body can then reflect back into the rest of your life. So with that, like diet is a very important like a thing that people are very confused about these days. What is your take on diet? कितना दा खाना खाना चाहिए है? कोई particular type दा खाना चाहिए है, या like each person is different? What do you think about that?
Diet, I would say always go for a simple diet. I would say a staple one where you can have foods every day. I would say, है ना? जो daily खा सकते हो. So that saves a lot of mental stress while preparing food. So we just have to know कि कौन सा food आपको suit कर रहा है. What kind of food is helping you with that. So don't change a lot of food. Don't go for a lot of varieties. I would say having foods with variety is okay, but it is very important कि वो mental stress create ना करे.
ਨਾ ਕਰੇ ਇਹ ਮੈਂ ਵੀ ਇਹ ਚੀਜ਼ ਰਿਅਲਾਈਜ਼ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਮੈਂਟਲੀ ਓਵਰਵੈਲਮਿੰਗ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਣੀ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਡਾਇਟ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ. ਇਟ ਸ਼ੁੱਡ ਬੀ ਵੈਰੀ sorted, very easy to have. And here also something I learned was pre-prepping your meals is also something which can be very helpful, because when it comes the time of hunger, you should not be hunting for keda khana khana hai, because then if the meal is not prepared, typically the tendency is कि जो भी junk पे है ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਹ खा लेंदे हो. Then about sleep, what do you think like the role that sleep plays, and how can somebody work at creating a good quality sleep?
There was this
Because
time
you wake up at 4, 4:30,
for
5, then I
हाँ
think it must be essential. You must have focused on upping the quality of your sleep. Uday bhai, what do you think?
हाँ जी. So I have worked few experiments with myself. During COVIDs, I used to sleep at 9:30 or 10. So I had also done research that sleep during those hours from 10 till 4, uh, it is one of the most beautiful sleep patterns one could ever have. And But there are times when that was being compromised, and if we are able to sleep a little less during you know night, so a power nap always works for me. 15 to 20 or 30 minutes during the afternoon, it works really good, and it just recharges me for the rest of the day. Hanji. Te For sleep, I would say don't eat just right before sleeping. Give some time to yourself and cut off all the technology. Right before sleeping, do some prayers or read a book, because, and I always keep my phone on airplane mode, I would say, cutting off the vibrations, and a small reflection before sleeping is always good, so that, all the processing throughout the day, it can be well settled, and then it can be a very good sleep.
Yeah.
Also, talking to your friend could be good, talking to your family could be good. Expression is very important.
Wow.
I've seen one thing which is common in everything, and that expression, it could be through pen on a journal, it could be to a loved one, it could be to God, or just, an expression
Expression before going to sleep.
before going to sleep, and it could be a small planning also for the next day. That is also an expression of something which is going inside
Yeah, and it
in
does
the
give
form
an
of space.
outlet to your mind. Whatever is going on in the mind, it kind of gets an outlet, releases, and it also facilitates this cleaning up of the mind of all the thoughts. They kind of all sink in, and it's a very more soothing environment in the mind to let you sleep. And another thing I wanted to ask you was like, I've seen Sabar and how beautifully it is run. It to me, it almost feels like a family. Does that take anything extra from your side? And can any business function like this? And if so, then would it take any hit on the profitability and growth of the business? How do you like uh, juggle all of these things together?
Yes. Initially, when people started joining in, so it started from me, and then my near and dear ones, my closest friends, they stepped in to, give me confidence enough. Okay, wow, yeah, this is working. Then few more people started joining in, more and more and more, and people. And initially, it was tough to sustain, but throughout the period when it spread out through words, and there were many less times that we had to do some social media marketing. So I avoid that. So I always try कि a person should get first, what we are trying to give, and then they can be the messengers or the mediums to share what they are experiencing here. Or I would say it is tough, yes, to be mindful and to be profitable at the same time, because huge profits would mean a lot of exploitation, and that would not go by the ethics of a person who is trying to be mindful, I would say. But there comes time when people really love your work, they want to come and spend some time. So it was always the quality that I was focusing on, not the profits, not the quantities, because I've seen quantities leads to huge profits, but for a shorter period of time. So for me, it's more of giving a lot first through your work, that quality through your work, and when it spreads, then it can be, afterwards. Those things can come afterwards. But initially, I had to be happy from within, and being happy from within for me would be also keeping the environment happier, I would say. So because it's correlated, your happiness would lead to my
Yeah,
happiness.
which is so true. Like what you said, because at the end of the day, we are doing whatever we are doing for our own inner satisfaction. But somewhere along the way, people get lost into making money and working for the business and a particular goal and lose their own peace and satisfaction and the calmness within the business organization ਤੇ ਉਹ family ਵਰਗਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ
हाँ
it
जी,
becomes like a very push and pull atmosphere ਤੇ ਉਹੀ ਫਿਰ family ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ reflect ਕਰਦਾ ਹੈ and here I am seeing something which is completely opposite ਕਿ ਉਹ harmony from the from your family ਜੋ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਕਿ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਮਦਰ ਨੇ ਬਚਪਨ ਤੋਂ ਉਹ ਸਬਰ ਪੇਸ਼ੈਂਸ and that family nurturing reflecting back into the rest of your life and creating this possibility that even the business can be an extension of your family and should be an extension of who you are. There need not be a different persona or a split or a difference in behavior ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ employee ਨਾਲ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਗੱਲ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ and ਆਪਣੇ boss
हाँ
ਨਾਲ
जी,
ਕਿਵੇਂ ਕਰ
हाँ
ਰਹੇ ਹੋ
जी,
ਤੇ
हाँ
mother
जी,
ਨਾਲ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ it can all harmonize and I think that is also possible when we stop chasing money because ਅਸੀਂ money ਕਮਾ ਕੇ ਹੋ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ for inner satisfaction and peace. And if it is inner satisfaction, what gives us satisfaction is giving value to somebody else. ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਚੰਗੀ ਕੋਈ ਚੀਜ਼ ਅਸੀਂ ਦੇ ਦਈਏ, ਕਿਸੇ ਦਾ ਫਾਇਦਾ ਹੋ ਜਾਏ, that feels so satisfying. You feel so humble about it ਕਿ
so
ਵਾਓ ਮੇਰੇ ਇੰਨੀ ਦਾਤ ਰੱਬ ਨੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਇਸ ਜੋਗਾ ਸਮਝਿਆ which is what I am hearing from you that when people come to Sabar, your intention is to give them value. And then that trust, that confidence that if I am giving value, then things will happen. They will become a messenger, or I will receive something to somebody else. If it has to come to me, let me just keep doing what I need to do.
हाँ जी,
And I think
हाँ
this
जी,
is a really, really beautiful thought to conclude our discussion today. It's been really a pleasure for me to have you with us today. And ਹਾਲੇ ਤੇ ਮੇਰੇ ਕੋਲ ਹੋਰ ਬੜੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਸਵਾਲ ਪਏ ਨੇ ਤੇ ਜੀ ਤੇ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਕਰਦੇ ਜਾਈਏ.
thank you.
But it's been really beautiful having you, Paramjot Virji.
Thank you so much. And I feel so blessed that you feel the harmony that Sabar has to offer, and that is the only fight within that should not be compromised. That that harmony has to be passed on uh, to the people, to the medium who are part of Sabar, Team Sabar, and everyone who's working with Sabar also. They should also uh, go align with the vision, and they are doing a wonderful task. I'm so happy that they are absorbing what we have to offer, and I'm happy to learn what people think about Sabar. I'm very grateful.
Whenever I'm in Sabar, I'm always like looking at how things are taking place, and it feels such a flow, such a smooth flow. And ਇੱਦਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ ਕਿ there is a hierarchy and things are being pushed top down. It feels it's not only is said to be, but it feels more like a environment where people are sharing the same vision and sharing the same dream. ਉਹ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜਗ੍ਹਾ ਜਗ੍ਹਾ ਛੋਟੇ ਛੋਟੇ ਸਲੋਗਨ messages around forgiveness, trust, gratitude, love ਲਿਖੇ ਪਏ ਨੇ. Like every day I go there, I make it a point that I read some of them, if not all of them, especially work out of the day they कोने ते help someone, do not compare. ਇਹ कुछ messages ने which are so beautiful. And only a conscious and a mindful thought behind creation all of this can put these things in the right place कि ये workout of the day है but don't make this an agenda. ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਆਏ ਹੋ, you're in a family, help each other, don't compete with each other, love your own body. ਤੁਸੀਂ like you have not come here just to throw yourself into something, which is really so beautiful. And it is like I am really grateful that this is the first in-person podcast. You are the first one, and I never knew ki when this would start, or like even if I would ever be doing a podcast, I never imagined it that way. It is something which the guru is doing, and I feel like he's just pulled me and made me sit on this chair. But I never knew that like it will be happening with you and we'll be doing it this way. So really grateful that you are the first one to honor this space,
Thank you.
and with that energy, with that harmonious energy. And from my side, I wish you like all the wishes for prosperity of Sabar, and in your own life, may you get more and more of the balance and harmony that you can reflect back on this world, and which it needs so much in today's time.
Wow.
So thank you once again.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
So this was our discussion with Paramjot Singh from Sabar, which I so thoroughly enjoyed, and I hope that you enjoyed it equally. And I admire him so much, not because he's really flashy and out there and very famous, not for those reasons, but because how he puts his words into practice each and every day. Whatever he shared is learned from his own very experience. I've been going to Sabar and I've been observing that how everything is cultivated into his daily practice. Every moment he's so careful, he's so full of grace, and holds himself into the backdrop by his sheer presence, not by pushing people or telling his team what to do, what not to do, micromanaging them, but creating the space for everyone to grow. And in that space, in that holding back, in that space of presence, in that space of silent observation, of just being there, it creates the energy for everybody's growth, and most importantly for our own growth. And the takeaway for me from this discussion is this very learning, that what makes us who we are is not really the exciting, gratifying, larger than life things. Of course, they are important and they have their own place in life. But what really has to form the meat of our lives are these little, minute, just baby steps, which might look very boring, very drab, very mundane, very repetitive. As Paramjot Singh himself said once to me, that it is the boring, the repetitive that really is transformative. So I hope all of us can take this learning with us and start implementing one step at a time without being over infatuated with the result, the goal. Of course, the vision is really important, but grounding ourselves on those little baby steps and moving from that one bit of progress every day, and that in itself can be so satisfying. So thank you for watching, and do keep pouring in your suggestions, your feedback on the kind of discussions you would like to see on this channel. And do share, like, and subscribe to our channel, because sharing forward value creates more value in the world. Love you all. Thank you so much. Bye bye.